it has been such a long time since I've done a video. It has officially been over a month since I've uploaded a video, and I'm pretty sure in the 5.5 years I've been doing YouTube, there has never been a month-long span of not even one video from me. Maybe there has been, but I don't remember it. So basically, I have missed you guys, and I can't believe it was an entire month. If you follow me on Twitter, you kind of know everything that went on and stuff, and a lot of you were asking me to do an update video and a video on my surgery and how the healing was and how the actual process was, all that sort of stuff. So I decided for this first video back in the new year, I was going to do kind of like an update vlog for you guys, but I wanted to put it on this channel because I know more of you watch this channel and stuff like that, and I didn't want a lot of you, when I put up my actual first video on this channel, like a beauty video or something, I didn't want you guys to be like, where have you been, all that stuff. I kind of want to answer all of those questions right now. So yeah, if you're interested in kind of like the story and everything like that, keep watching. If not, my beauty, fashion, cooking, home decor, lifestyle videos will be starting up very soon on this channel, as soon as hopefully tomorrow. Cross your fingers, everybody. Hopefully tomorrow. And yeah, I'm excited for this year. I have some fun things in store for us for this year. So my channel's going to take a little bit of a turn, but I think it's going to be a turn for the better. So basically, in order to understand the entire story, we have to go back to Thanksgiving. So over Thanksgiving, I got strep throat again, and I had to get another shot in my butt, which you guys know I hate. I always get strep throat and then I have to get shots in my booty, and it's just really obnoxious. Well, it's kind of like your hip, but I always like to say I got a shot in my butt. So got strep throat over Thanksgiving again, and I tweeted you guys and I was like, I got strep throat again, and so many people were like, that's like not normal to get strep that much. Like, that's not like, oh, I have a cold again. That's like a straight up like intense thing, and it was super painful. I couldn't even eat Thanksgiving dinner because it hurt so badly to swallow. That was probably the most miserable part about it. And you know that it's very painful when I get broccoli cheddar soup from Panera and I cannot eat it. I literally think I had one spoonful, and that's when I knew I was really, really sick. So I ended up going to the doctor, tested positive for strep again. So I was talking to my mom and dad, and my dad was basically like, we need to get your tonsils taken out. So he talked to an ear, nose, throat doctor that works like at the same place that he works. And he was basically like, you know, can we go over my daughter's chart basically and figure out like what we need to do because she's getting strep so much. They went through my chart and realized that I have not only thought I had, but tested positive for strep at least 4 times every year for the past 6 years. And I'm like, okay, so that doesn't include the times, the other times I've gotten sick. I get sinus infections all the time. I get bronchitis a lot. I had the swine flu twice. Like, who gets the swine flu twice? I'm pretty sure that's like impossible to do. Somehow, I did it. Tested positive for swine flu 2 different times. So basically, my dad was talking to the ear, nose, throat doctor, and he was like, yeah, so she's definitely a candidate to get these out. So we decided I was going to do it 2 weeks before Christmas so that I could be home and like my mom could take care of me and everything, and then I'd already be home for Christmas and stuff like that. So I went home on either December 9th or December 10th. I don't remember exactly which one. And I went to my pre-op appointment, and he looked at my tonsils and was like, yeah, these babies definitely need to come out. And I was like, yeah, you know, they definitely have caused me some troubles in my entire life, really. So then he went to look into my nose, because he's an ear, nose, throat doctor, and that's what he does. And he kind of like pulled back for a second, and he was like, so I think I need to send you to get a CT scan. And I was like, okay, like I didn't know what that meant. I thought it maybe was just part of the pre-op or something. So I get a call from the doctor, and he says, we need to do sinus surgery while you're under for your tonsillectomy. It's actually good that we caught it so that we could do them together. But you have chronic sinusitis, which explains why I get so many sinus infections. So my surgery was scheduled for December 12th, and I think it was at like 8 a.m. I had to be there. Maybe I was there at 7, I don't really remember, but I was happy because it was early in the morning and you're not allowed to eat or drink anything that day. So I knew that if it was like an afternoon surgery, that would just be miserable, because when I wake up, the first thing I do is think toaster strudel pretty much. So I was like, I need to be woken up and be taken straight there with no chance to eat in between. So we got to the place or whatever, the outpatient center, and they checked me in, and I was really nervous about the IV. I've had a lot of IVs before, but when I was in the hospital when I was in 6th grade, I had just some really bad experiences with nurses that had to dig to find the vein, after they've stuck the needle in, they're digging around to make it puncture the vein, and it would bruise for 3 weeks at a time, and I was just having a lot of anxiety about it. So they ended up giving me a shot that was a super tiny needle, not as big as an IV. So they gave me this baby shot basically, and it completely numbed it, and when the IV went in, I didn't even know it had gone in. She goes, "Okay, you're done," and I thought she meant you're done with the shot or whatever, and I was like, "Okay, I think I'm ready," and she was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "For the IV now," and she was like, "No, we're done completely," and I was like, and I looked down at my hand and I was like, I did not feel a thing. So moral of the story is, if you guys have a lot of anxiety and stuff, yeah, you still do feel a little bit of a needle, but it's not nearly the pain that you get from an IV. Maybe I'm just a really big baby, but so then the anesthesiologist came in to talk to us and kind of just tell us what to expect, ask us any questions, everything like that. And then Mom and I sat there for a while, and you had to be able to pee because I guess it's law or something that they take a pregnancy test before they put you under for surgery, which I understand that, but I hadn't been allowed to eat or drink anything, so I didn't need to pee. So it was kind of I was trying and trying and trying, and someone probably thought I was really weird because I was in the bathroom for 30 minutes or something, and then I finally got a dropout, which is maybe TMI, but surprise, that's my morning. So then the anesthesiologist came back in, and apparently when they put the medicine in, you know how they ask you, or maybe you do, maybe you don't, it depends on if you've ever been put under, but they ask you to count down from 100, and typically people get to 96 or something. Apparently I said 1 sheep, 2 sheep, red sheep, blue sheep or something, and then I started singing Timber, the Kesha and Pitbull song Timber. Yeah, so the last thing I said was, I'm yelling Timber, basically. And then I passed out. Next thing I know, I was awake, and it's crazy how when they put you under anesthesia, it doesn't even feel like a second's passed. It's a different feeling than falling asleep and waking up. It's a very different feeling. So they were trying to wake me up, and I guess I was saying, I thought I had an epidural because I couldn't feel my feet. And they were like, no, you didn't have an epidural. You just, had your tonsils taken out, and we're just waking you up from anesthesia. And the anesthesiologist was in there just making sure I was waking up and stuff. And I kept saying, this is what an epidural is like, which I have never had a baby and haven't really even had to think about this. So I don't know why I put 2 and 2 together in my crazed mind that epidural equals not feeling your toes. So I apparently started whining and told the anesthesiologist that I was too posh to push and that he should go ahead and get on with the C-section. A, I'm not pregnant. B, I'm not having a baby. C, I don't have an epidural. But apparently I was telling him that I was too posh to push and I needed a C-section, basically, because I couldn't feel my toes because I had an epidural because I was having a baby and I was in labor and I was pregnant in the first place. So that was interesting. And then when I actually woke up, I didn't remember any of that, but they were laughing about it with my mom and stuff. And so I thought that was kind of funny. And then my throat hurt. I said that the pain was about an 8. It was pretty painful right when I woke up. And then they gave me some pain medicine and a popsicle, and then a lot of people think, oh, you get your tonsils out, that's great. It's, all you can eat ice cream and stuff like that. That's not exactly the case, which I learned after a couple days. So the first few days I let myself have anything I could really swallow, and they say cold only, the warm, I don't know what it does to your throat, but they don't want you to have soup or hot liquids or anything. They want you to keep it on the cold side. So I had ice cream and milkshakes and Gatorade, and iced tea and stuff like that. And then I was reading online and it said that dairy actually creates excess mucus. So when you have a tonsillectomy and you're trying to swallow and it's painful, it's harder to swallow if you've had dairy because it just makes everything a little thicker. And I wasn't quite sure exactly if I like believed that, but I decided to cut out dairy for a hot second and see what it was like. And so I didn't have any sort of like dairy products that day, and it was so much easier that night and the next day to like swallow everything else. So then my dad made me some lukewarm soup, which was very nice because he's not really a chef, and it was awesome. I'm pretty sure it was like from a, you know, packet, but that's okay. And it was really, really good. So healing took about 2 weeks. I had my first like real meal on Christmas Eve. That's when I actually got to like devour something, and I didn't even eat that much. Like I remember looking at my plate thinking I had served myself like not nearly enough. I was like, I'm gonna get quadruple this, and then I ended up like only being able to eat half of it, and I think it's because my stomach had shrunk during the 2 weeks of no solids. So by the time it was Christmas Eve and I was eating actual food, just a few bites of each thing, I was like super full. I actually lost over 10 pounds in that 2 weeks, but don't worry guys, I've been gaining it back. The joy. I was really proud of myself. I was like, woo, lost some weight, and then it's like, oh, it, I guess, comes back with grilled cheese and pizza, you know? So basically, that is my story. I came back here and I was back in LA for New Year's. I had a great New Year's, and then I got sick again. So I just recently kind of like healed from that and stuff. I have actually filmed videos 3 different times since being back in LA, and this is gonna sound really gross, but every time I go to actually like edit them, I just sounded so congested and nasally and gross. I couldn't even listen to myself, and I was like, I am not putting these people through this. Like, they do not need to listen to this on their free time when they're already sitting on their computer watching YouTube videos. They don't need to be subject to this. So I'm hoping today my voice is a little better. It got a little deeper when I got my tonsils removed, but I'm pretty sure it's back up to the high pitchedness. I'm not positive, but I feel like I sound more normal, whereas right when I got them out, at the beginning I couldn't speak at all, really. It just like wouldn't come out very easily, and it was painful. My mom and my dad and my little sister and Elle, they were so great, just kind of like helping me, and Elle was actually filming Vlogmas. And oh, another funny thing to know. Well, first off, Elle was filming Vlogmas, and I'm in some of her vlog videos, and there's one where I'm in bed and I am so pathetically just like, I'm laying in bed with Teddy, and you can just tell I was so just in pain and miserable, and I was starving. Like, if you read my tweets during that 2 weeks, literally every single tweet was, I'm so hungry. Somebody put me a pizza in the blender. Like, I've always thought, like, the thought of someone saying like, oh, well, you could put like a chicken breast in the blender and drink it. I've always like dry heaved when I hear that. If my mom would have let me, I probably would have. I'm pretty sure I asked her to put food in a blender and give it to me. But she was like, I don't think you're gonna enjoy that. So she would get me like more of other things. But anyways, everyone was really great, and the funny thing that I wanted to tell you, I don't remember what it was, so give me a second. Oh, I do remember. So I found the best way to ice my neck. Instead of just holding ice packs up to my neck, I could put 2 Ziploc baggies of ice in each cup of a bra and strap it around my head. So anytime someone would come into my room, it was always like, all right, so we've got bra face over here. And it was perfect because it was like a hands-free, like, you know how they say for like expectant mothers, they always register for like the hands-free breast pump or whatever. I was like, this is like a hands-free ice pack neck holder thing. So yeah, if anyone's going to get their tonsils out, that was my experience. Feel free to like message me or leave a comment or anything if you have any questions about it. I know that when I was getting it done, and even after I got it done, I would look up like forums online that were talking about all of the, you know, different things that happen. My scabs didn't fall off for a long time though. A lot of people online were like, my scabs fell off on day 6 and day 8. Mine were probably like day 20 before they started falling off, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just, you know, the healing process. Some people heal a lot differently than others, but yeah, don't be discouraged if your scabs aren't coming off, and don't try to, like, I don't know, pick at them or anything. Oh, and another funny thing is, I guess my tonsils were always so big. They were like, they just took up a lot of space. Like, even when I wasn't sick, they were just always very large and kind of like close together. So when I would take a drink of something, it was almost like it was like filtered through the center. And so now every single time I'm like having to retrain myself to drink and eat, because every single time I go to take a sip of something, it goes down in such a large quantity and I like choke on it. It's like this like gulp of like, it's the craziest sensation that I'm not used to. So I have like all this extra space that it's just like letting like my drink rush down, and it's insane. So I'm basically retraining myself. I'm basically a toddler, pretty much. So that's what I've been up to for the past month, but I am so excited. There are definitely going to be some changes on my channel for this year, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. So I'm going to go ahead and edit and upload this video, and then Elle is going to help me film another video. So hopefully I'll get it up either tomorrow or definitely by the next day. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have had any sort of experience with getting your tonsils out or anything like that, go ahead and leave it in the comments, because I'm sure there's some other people that have to go through it and they're probably curious about how your healing process was. I know everyone's healing process is different, but that was kind of mine. Definitely wasn't a piece of cake, incredibly painful. I hope it's worth it, because they say I shouldn't, knock on wood, get sick as much anymore. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my life. So I'm going to go ahead, get this video up, and then go film with Elle. So I love you guys and I missed you so very much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.